Hi, Koa. Hi, how you doing? I've got your work up here now. I've got your directing reflections, and I think the first thing, well, as the logo goes, I think the first thing that we notice here is that in the cover page of your corporate identity, you're showing this version of the logo with these two people behind the logo. So one would immediately assume that those people are part of the logo. And then we come to this page and we see that that's not the case. You're showing the logo without the people. Then we come back here to signage and you're showing the people again. Then we come to the shirt and the people are gone. So there are some inconsistencies in the presentation of your logo. And one thing that we've learned in corporate identity is that when you present the logo, it has got to be consistent. I mean, it cannot change one bit throughout. Well, that's not true. It can change. I mean, you can have different variations that you would have accepted in your style guide. So we haven't seen that here. So I would select this logo and forget the people behind the logo. Let's just forget that whole motif anyways. I would remove it from here too. I take it away from there. It's not working because as a silhouette, at a smaller size, let's take a look at what happens to it. It turns into a blob. So, and you can't see what the people are doing. You can kind of tell there's two figures, but you just can't see what they're doing. So that is something that I would consider to be an issue. Okay, so back to the logo. Directing reflections, and you've got this like fisheye effect. I would just take this in straight font. Koa, I would say directing reflections, you can make the D and the R bigger like you have here, but forget that fisheye effect. Just directing reflections. And then right underneath it, right there, business marketing or business management. Directing reflections, business management, like right here, business management. So that way we know, because right now we look at directing reflections and we just don't know what do they do. We get, here's the letterhead, still can't figure out what they do. Envelope, no indication here of what they do. Then we come down to the logo sheet, nothing there. Then finally at the signage, we see business management. So let's use that right in the logo to make it clear from the start exactly what this company does. Okay, and then if you notice again, I'm going to zoom out again and watch what happens to this directing reflections. Maybe this would be a better example right here. And this is why I would consider a couple of things. Number one, I would definitely just set this up straight on a regular baseline, a horizontal baseline. Okay, and as I said, you can drop the caps for the D and the R if you feel like it, but I would loosen the kerning. The kerning is way too tight. I would not put a drop shadow on it. Okay, and then I would lose these little lines at the bottom. Okay, and then as I said, underneath there, just put business management. Okay, now watch what happens to this logo as it becomes smaller. It's already just about disappearing, and at this point, you can't even read the words. So, so excuse me. So imagine the business card sitting at an arm's length away. It would not be legible. Okay, and the sign too. I mean, the sign is something that would have to be really, really super legible from a distance because it's an outdoor signage. So, I mean, think about that. Would that be easy to read from a car? I don't think so. Okay, so from here, let's do this. I would say, and then the last piece too. That looks good though. Good mock-up there. Okay, so what I would suggest is that my suggestions with the logo, I wouldn't put all these lines near your work. It's just taking away. All these lines are taking attention away from the logo itself. So just use a white card. This type right here has certainly been stretched. We can clearly see that the O is really elongated. So you don't ever want to stretch type. If you're going to place type, make sure you constrain the original proportions. If you need to resize it, make sure that you maintain the scale of the original proportions. Then we come over here, you have your logo sheet showing different colors of the logo. Now, logo sheet technically would be a logo study giving us 6 to 8 examples of your different ideas for the logo for this specific corporate identity. In other words, it would be 6 to 8 visual studies, near complete logos, roughs as it were, and then that shows that was the process that you went through in order to come to the final decision of the logo that you chose. So this as a logo shoot, you wouldn't show just your logo in different colors. Okay, and then we come, and then look at that. Look at how that's just stealing the show from the signage, that big red thing. So I mean, presumably there's going to be a frame around this, right? Because it's a billboard. So even if there's a frame around it, you just like the weight of this and the texture just makes the eye just go shoot right up to it and completely skip over everything else. As far as the way that your composition is, you've got basically the eye is moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So what I would suggest is just using the logo and then over here grouping your text. Okay, and then get rid of the drop shadow, but group your text. That way you only have 2 visual stops, the logo and the text. So that way the eye opens the composition, looks at the logo, drops to the text, and then exits the page comfortably. Here, your eye goes here, then it goes here, then here, and it kind of pinballs around, and it doesn't really know where to go to leave. So it just kind of fades off. Okay, so and that would be my recommendations moving forward. If you have any questions or comments, or if I can make anything a little more clear or clarify anything further, just please let me know, and I'll be glad to do so. Okay, thanks, Koa.